Welcome back to Pause and Respond. Over the last two episodes, we've been talking about why change starts with a pause and why reactions often feel automatic, even when we want to respond differently. Today, I want to take this one step deeper because for most people, the hardest part of change isn't understanding what to do, it's recognizing when something is happening early enough for choice to exist. And that's where the body comes in, long before there's a thought in your head. Long before you know what you're going to say, your body has already responded. It might be a tightening, a rush of heat, a drop in energy, a change in breathing. These signals happen so fast that most people miss them, not because they're subtle, but because we were never taught to listen for them. So when reactions happen, it feels like they come out of nowhere, but they don't. They come out of the body doing exactly what it learned to do. In this episode, we're going to slow that process down. We're going to look at how reactions begin before words, before decisions, and often before even awareness. And instead of staying abstract, I'm going to walk you through two real life examples. As you listen, you don't need to analyze them, figure out what they mean. Just notice which one feels familiar. That quiet aha moment is often where the pause begins. Most people assume reactions start with thoughts. They believe the problem is what they said, how they said it, or what they were thinking in that moment. So naturally, the focus becomes on fixing language, managing tone, or choosing better words next time. But for most reactions, the words are already late in the process. Long before a sentence forms in your mind, something else has already happened. The body has shifted. There's been a tightening, a surge, a collapse, maybe a withdrawal, sometimes subtle, sometimes fast, but always very real. And because most of us were never taught to pay attention to the body, those signals get missed. Not ignored on purpose, just unnoticed. So when the reaction finally shows up, it feels sudden, like it came out of nowhere. That's when people say things like, I don't know what happened. I wasn't even thinking. It just took over. What they're really describing is a process that started earlier than their awareness could catch. And this matters because if you believe reactions start with thoughts, you'll keep trying to fix them with thinking. But if reaction starts in the body, then awareness has to start there too. This episode isn't about changing those signals, it's about learning to notice them. Because once you recognize where reaction actually begins, the pause doesn't have to feel so forced. It starts to appear naturally, right where the body shifts. The choice first becomes possible. Imagine this. You're already tired. Your day has been long. You're trying to get one more thing done before you can finally stop. And someone makes a comment. Maybe a spouse, a coworker, boss, person at the store. Maybe it's about how you handled something or what you didn't do. It's not even loud. It might not even be intentional, but something shifts. Before you think anything, your body responds. Your chest tightens, your jaw clenches, your shoulders subtly move forward. Your breathing becomes more shallow. There's a surge of energy, fast, hot, focused. And almost immediately, your attention narrows. You're no longer curious. You're no longer flexible. You're ready, ready to defend, ready to correct, ready to push back. The words come quickly. After which, later, you might say, I just snapped. It came out of nowhere, but it didn't. Your body signaled it first. The tightening, the heat, the forward energy. Those were the moments the pause could have existed. Not to stop the emotion, but to notice it. Anger didn't show up just randomly here. It showed up to protect against feeling either dismissed, powerless, or maybe even disrespected. If that example felt familiar, take a moment with that. Not to analyze it, not to judge it. Just notice what stood out. Maybe it wasn't the situation itself. Maybe it was the way your body tightened or how quickly everything narrowed for you. Often, recognition shows up quietly. It's not a big realization. It's a small internal, that makes sense to me. That moment matters because recognition is different from explanation. Explanation stays in the mind. Recognition lives in the body. And when awareness lives in the body, it arrives earlier the next time. You don't need to do anything with this right now. Just let the recognition settle. Because every time you recognize a pattern, without judgment, you create a little more space. And that space is what the pause is built. Now consider a different situation. You're in a conversation that feels tense. Maybe conflict is building. Maybe someone has upset you. As the conversation continues, something else happens. Instead of heat, there's heaviness. Your shoulders drop. Your chest feels tight, but really hollow. Your breathing slows. Maybe it even nearly disappears. Your thoughts start to fade. You're still there, but not fully. Words feel harder to find. Eye contact becomes uncomfortable. There's an urge to disengage. You might nod. You might go quiet. You might say, I don't know, or maybe it's fine. From the outside, it appears like indifference. Inside, it's overload. This is not calm. This is shutdown. And it didn't start with a decision. It started with the body signaling, this is too much. Later, you might criticize yourself. Why didn't I say anything? I just froze. But freezing is a response, not a failure. It's the nervous system protecting against feeling overwhelmed, avoiding conflict, or maybe even emotional danger. These two reactions are very different. One is loud, one is quiet, but underneath they come from the same place. They both start in the body. Before there's a thought like, I shouldn't say that, or I need to calm down, the body has already shifted into protection mode. Your body's job isn't to be reasonable. It isn't to help you communicate clearly. Its job is to keep you safe. And safety isn't just physical. It could be feelings of being dismissed or being cornered or overwhelmed or maybe even feeling exposed. And something in the present moment reminds the body of those experiences. Even subtly, it reacts with sensations, tightness, heat, pressure, collapse, numbness. These sensations are not problems, they're signals. The body is telling you, pay attention. Most of us were taught to override these signals. So by the time we notice something is wrong, the reaction's already happening. That's why thinking your way out of reactions rarely works at first. The pause doesn't start with words. It starts with sensation. Recognition slows things down. And when things slow down, choice becomes possible. Not perfectly, not every time, but more often. And that's enough to begin changing patterns. This week, the goal isn't to respond differently. It's not to stay calm. It's not to override your reactions. The goal is to listen. When something feels off, even slightly, turn your attention inward. Ask yourself, what just happened in my body? Did I tighten, collapse? Did my breathing shift? Did my energy rise or did it drop? You don't need to label it correctly. You're learning your body's language. At first, you may only notice signals after the reactions. That still counts. Later, you may notice them during the moment. Eventually, you may catch them right as they begin. That's not effort. That's familiarity. When the body feels listened to, it doesn't need to escalate. And that's where the pause begins. For this week, keep it simple. You're not going to fix anything. You're not correcting yourself. Just notice moments where something shifts, early body signals, familiar patterns. Later, then reflect. What happened right before those situations? What did my body do first? Recognition builds space. Space creates choice. As we close today, I want to leave you with this. Your body's been trying to help you long before this podcast existed. Those signals, the tightening, the heat, the drop in energy, the urge to pull back, they aren't mistakes. They're attempts at protection. Learning to listen to them isn't weakness. It's not overthinking. It's a skill. And like any skill, it develops slowly through awareness, repetition, and patience. You don't need to catch every signal. You don't need to respond perfectly. You don't need to rush change. Each moment you notice something, even after the fact, You're building on that foundation, and that familiarity will create space. Space is where choice lives. If this episode resonated, the Pause and Respond book goes deeper into this process and offers structured exercises to help build awareness, interrupt some of these automatic reactions, and respond with intention. You can learn more at pauseandrespond.com. But whether you read the book or not, the work this week is simple. Listen, notice, let awareness drive what it does. And remember, less reaction, more choice. Thanks a lot for being here.